You really have the ability in your game to understand how to stop, but then continue your motion right out of your drag position. Now, right now I'm using the mat because the mat does a great job of holding me accountable to exact space. Whenever I talk about using the mat, it never means that you can only do it with it, but there's obvious advantages of this. So since I have one, I'm always going to use it. But what I have the ability to do with it is understand, can I, number one, get to the exact space of the floor that I need to? So if I can control my space, I'm actually able to control the length of my steps required in order to control that space. That's a really, really important part of being able to move in a game that's constantly closing space and opening space. My body has to be able to adapt. So right now I'm going to do my freeze drag, and I'm going to aim my inside foot at the blue, so I should know exactly when my dribble will take me there, and my outside foot will go to about the red. Now, as I'll always say, this is a one-size-fits-all piece of equipment. So although this is the perfect length for me at my height, as you get longer, you would actually start aiming for off the mat, and you can start going towards more of the outside edges of it. And so a smaller kid, for instance, might be more so in the square. But regardless of it, I need my inside foot to remain behind, my outside foot goes forward, because that's exactly what would happen if I continued my motion on a drive. So a drag is literally stopping in your running position. And so I'm able to stop, but while the ball's in my pocket still, I'm going to actually stop, pause, before I continue. That's what a freeze drag is. So it's not your ability to actually pound that ball down with a punch, which we'd call a punch drag. It's your ability to actually stop in mid-motion with your drag, but while the ball's in a float position, you're now making reads. And so I'm able to drag and continue, which is why we call this a freeze drag. So when you're doing this rep, make sure that you're not taking unnecessary dribbles in there, because now it would become a completely different move, a punch drag into a drive, where we want to be able to understand the power of an actual freeze drag. So when you do your reps, drive full speed, see if you can stop in that extended position, outside leg foot forward, and then continue with your next dribble step. So once again, I have my drive, I freeze, and then I continue with that dribble all the way to the basket or for any other play that you want to make. Once again, all of these should be reversed. So if I was going to the left side, now I need to understand that my drag will be my outside foot, which would be my left. So I drag on the left, I let the ball stay in my pocket, I freeze, and then I continue with a dribble step. And that's going to be really the big key of whether or not you're doing this correctly. If I get to my freeze drag and I dribble before this foot can really get to a step, my whole rhythm of my game is going to be off. So your ability to stop and really sync up this dribble again is going to be a huge, huge key to you performing the freeze drag at a high, high level. Once again, you've got 20 minutes to work on your freeze drag, mix up different parts of the floor, and if you happen to have a footwork mat, make sure you add it in to hold yourself accountable.